All right, it is 7 days into flower, and this thing needs to get sprayed again. Actually, the lights went off about 5 minutes ago, but I just got in here, and I'm going to continue with my Toad Venom STS spray. Again, we just want to make sure we spray the nodes, the stems, everything just like you guys saw before. But all right, round two, the last round of spray. Here it goes. All right, we are 8 days after the second application of our STS spray, the Toad Venom for Mr. Toad, and that's again the only, well, 2 times is all you need to spray. And we go in here and, you know, we can start looking. I am starting to see male organs already. You can see on some of these, you know, that there are stigmas, the little hairs that are sticking out, and that is common. You will typically see a few of those grow right at first, and then you'll start to see some male parts growing. You know, Mr. Toad, he told me in the beginning is it'll look like it's not working until all of a sudden it is. And again, here, another good example. You can see some stigma sticking out, but I see the male parts starting to form. So, you know, here's another one right here. Are you going to focus? Oh, yes, you are. Okay. So, yeah, it is going to be another few weeks at least before these would be dropping pollen, but I am seeing positive signs that the reversal should be successful. Now I just need to raise my light, right? I mean, come on, get with the program. Okay, now to check things out again. We are 17 days away from the second spray, 23 days from the first spray. And I mean, obviously we do have male parts coming in. That is great. Nothing has opened yet. There are, you know, there are some that are ahead of others. You could kind of see there, kind of go in here. You know, those are looking a bit more mature, but there's a lot that are coming. There are a lot on the way, and you can kind of go up and down this plant. Let's go over to the receiver tent and check on those. So again, the recovery continues here, and we are looking much better now in the receiver tent. Thank goodness I moved them into the 7-gallon pots and started doing some hand watering. But yeah, things are definitely looking much better in here, and they actually got flipped to flower, oh, I think about 3 or 4 days now. So these are going to start getting some stigmas, some receivers for that pollen here in, oh, probably another 10 to 14 days. Probably at about another 20 days, they'll be just perfect for receiving a ton of pollen. But yeah, they'll start catching them as soon as those stigmas stick out of the bracts. All right, so she, or well, now he, actually is getting a lot closer to dropping some pollen. Still, you know, days away, but there are actually some. I was looking over here. Where is this one? Actually, looks like it's got a pod open already. So yeah, this thing should be dumping a decent amount of pollen for the receivers, which is rad. But this has been in its own tent because it had to start flowering a few weeks earlier than my receivers. So it is time to move it back into the breeding tent, which is over here now. I mean, this thing looks pretty full. It does, but there's a spot in the middle where I'm going to put it, and I'm actually going to elevate it up so it sits higher than the receivers. But as you can see, my light's kind of almost on top of it, and there's not a lot of room. So what I need to do is, well, I do need to raise the light. But to do that, I'm going to have to take the carbon filter in the fan and place it on the outside of the tent instead of the inside. That'll buy me some extra headroom to move that reverse plant in so it can sit above these receivers. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of work. Frick. Let's get to it. All right, so we've got a raised roof in there. As you can see, I took my exhaust fan and carbon filter and put it out here. So yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, I was going to set it up on something, give it a little bit of extra height, because then the lower branches are kind of even with that lower canopy, and the taller branches, these with all the great male parts on here, again, that Toad Venom STS reversal spray definitely does its job. So got an extra fan in here, so one there, one here, kind of blowing through that middle layer. That top one is kind of hitting the top layer, and we've got, well, in the back you see that one that's moving everything right at the base of the canopy level. And I wonder if that's actually gonna maybe dry this out a little bit quicker because it's getting some direct air. So I'll just keep an eye on that. But yeah, the reversed female, the pollen donor, is now in the tent with the pollen receivers. It's a packed tent in there, guys, but you know, that reverse one's only gonna stay in there for maybe 2-3 weeks. We'll see. You guys will see. Next update coming in a second. All right, we are looking in here, and pollination has started to begin. Now, these buds, again, they're getting around the nice size that I like them to be before pollination begins. Not too big, not too small. Things are looking good here. That's the Westport grape juice, so that will be the Westport Posse. And over here is the Kool-Aid Man. And now I do want to show you something, because again, I kind of let the pollen fly a little bit the other day. I'm going to go in here and do a lot of manual pollination. I'm kind of having to do that with a lot of the reversals. But you know, you go in there, you grab something like that one there. Looks like it's ready and mature, gonna dump some pollen. You could actually see a little bit below has fallen out, so I'll go in there with the tweezers, grab that, and then I just kind of come over here and I'll rub the tops of the buds and, you know, hit them with little stigmas. You could see there's some that I was doing the other day. But you guys are always kind of are curious about, you know, has it been pollinated? And we usually say, you know, when the stigmas start to turn brown. Now we look at this one, it's nice and fuzzy. They're kind of sticking up. They're all nice and white, right? So that one, not really so much. But we come up here and we look at this one. Hopefully it will zoom in. Now, if you notice, a lot of the hairs are started to actually recede back in. And if you can, oh, will it get super close? Some of the tips there are even a little bit brown. So I know that the pollen has kind of hit this one. It started to take. They're retreating back into the bract, and they're going to start to make some seeds. So yeah, that'll be a future no joke. Again, we got our Westport grape juice back there. We got a Kool-Aid Man there, a Westport grape juice here, and the other Kool-Aid Man here. So yeah, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna start doing some more just kind of hand manual pollination. Again, I grab some of these mature anthers off. They're gonna be ready to drop some pollen. And again, you can see this one here, a little bit brown on the tips, receding back into the bracts. Those are gonna start forming seeds. So it is absolutely game on. All right, so I usually come in here every night around tent opening for about 20-30 minutes or so with my tweezers and do some pollinating. And you know, I'm just kind of looking over the reverse plant, you know, taking a look like where's some things that are close to dropping pollen. You see new ones developing as I kind of go through and pick them off. But there are some options. Let's see here. Actually, right in there, I can see, whoops, right in there, you can see a little bit of pollen dropping on that leaf. So there is some male organs right there. I can't really get it to focus. There we go. Right in there. So I'm going to go in with these, grab that out, and we'll see if I could do this one-handed and do the camera at the same time. The majority of the manual pollination I do with the tweezers, and you can kind of look and see which ones are a little bit more mature, which ones have the potential to be dropping the pollen. But basically I'm just kind of going in here, grabbing the anthers that I want, and then I can bring it over to the stigmas and I can, tap. I don't know if you're able to see that pollen fall in there. But I'm able to tap it over top of the bud, or I could rub it on the stigmas. But that is how I'm doing a lot of the manual pollinating on this run. We're a week into it after the pollen started to fly, and if we go in here, we're definitely seeing a lot more of the brown stigmas, which again to us is just kind of indicators that, hey, it's receiving some pollen. So at this early stage of life, that's a good thing. And you can see here on the Kool-Aid Man, which makes the no joke with this reverse Westport grape juice, there is definitely, clearly evident brown stigmas on most of the buds. That holds true for this Kool-Aid Man up front and the Kool-Aid Man back here. If we go in, we can see again a lot more of the brown, a lot more of the receding stigmas back into the bracts. They have been pollinated. They are going in and forming that seed. So the Kool-Aid Man's holla, definitely showing it. The Westport grape juice though is, it is showing it slightly, but to a different extent. There's not really a whole bunch of super brown ones. We can see here that it's getting hit there. Go over here. It still just looks like a lot of white unaffected stigmas, but I tell you, I have been grabbing pollen pods off of these. They're looking a little bit bare as far as like fresh stuff right now, but they've had a whole bunch to offer. But basically all the, things that are dropping pollen, I'm taking them off and I'm just kind of like knocking them over the top of the bud sites and around my fans to circulate that pollen. But the Westport grape juice there and the Westport grape juice in the back, even though there are signs of pollination, it's just not as obvious or widespread as these Kool-Aid Mans that just tend to have plenty of brown stigmas. So, all right, guys, it is time to pull my pollinator, the reversed female, in there. I no longer need it. Everything here is, again, we kind of looked at the browning stigmas before, and there's a whole lot more of them pretty much on all of the crowns, all of the tops, and that means a good pollination. Shoot, if you even go back all the way into the corner of the Westport grape juice and that top bud, you can see seeds starting to form, and again, the other stigmas on that plant, they've been hit. So I'm pretty confident that I am getting a decent amount of pollinated plants here. Again, just making the Westport Posse and some more no joke. But you see the stigmas, they're receding back into there, and oh boy, yeah, that one's gonna have a whole bunch of seeds. You see them starting out there. We go back over here, you see seeds starting right in there. So yeah, that's the Westport grape juice again. We got a Kool-Aid Man in the back, and we got a Kool-Aid Man here up front. And you know what? Things are starting to get a little bit floppy. So back there, it's going to need some support. Up here, shoot, I ran a little, oh gosh, garden wire from end to end to hold them up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to kind of cut the individual reversed branches. I'll shake them over the plants one more time, and then I'm going to take it out and put in the scrog net, give these plants a little more support, let them focus on growing the beans. All right, back in the tent. Here we are, guys. So, you know, not really a whole bunch of updates needed from this point. As you can see, there are definitely seeds up in them hills. A couple different ones here. And again, that's the Kool-Aid Man. Yeah, all over. This is the Westport grape juice. Just go right in on there and you can see, yeah, plenty of beans. So from here on out, guys, you just kind of let them grow as if they were a normal flowering plant. You want to keep them hydrated. You want to keep them fed. I don't use any real like special nutrients while they're pregnant. I may keep the nitrogen going for a little bit longer than normal, but in very small doses. But really, it's just getting the normal feeding. And although they, you know, they were flowering for 3 weeks before they really got pollinated. So if this was an 8-week strain, I'm not going to really pull it at 8 weeks. I'm actually going to pull it probably at around 11. You want to give your seeds about 6 to 8 weeks to be fully mature. Now, you'll be able to check in on, you know, just the plumpness of them. And there's also, you know, let me find a good example here. Let's go down in here where you can kind of see the seed color. Well, there we go. So like the bracts right there, you can see the seed kind of popping out there, and it's still green because it's young, but it's going to mature and you'll kind of see it turning brown and maybe even getting those tiger stripes. So you'll be able to see that on some of them, but just always go in and maybe hand pick a couple off the bottom, hand pick a couple off the top, check the ripeness, because there's nothing worse than going through all this and pulling a plant too early because you didn't let them mature long enough. So keep that in mind. Keep your plants fed, keep them watered, keep them happy. Again, it's easier when they're in larger pots to keep them growing for longer. And yeah, you can keep them growing past their, you know, normal harvest date if they're healthy and fed. The plants will keep growing. But this, my friends, is the pollination of your future Westport Posses and some of your no joke. That is the reversal and the pollination. Again, it's the Westport grape juice reversed that pollinated all these. Well, pollinated itself, the Westport grape juice, which makes the Westport Posse, and the Kool-Aid Mans, which make your no joke.
Fuck you, Westport!